Yeah, you guys met.
You got another for the camera?
No, he met at a songwriter.
No.
Met at a songwriter. And I had to work the next day until 3 morning. So, wow. Yeah. Chuck, are you from here? Yeah. California? Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's rare. That's rare to fight in California.
Apparently it's going.
Day.
You go back to Zoom?
They didn't show up for 2 weeks. So I had
You select the camera.
I
don't know how to do that.
My lip.
Video?
Skin cancer. I do a lot of patients.
Which one? C92, 992.
Call up to say,
Okay.
everybody,
And then audio?
all the employees wondering,
Here's
take
audio.
Peter, take you?
Here, why don't you? C992.
Take another week.
This is without the vocals.
It's good to be missed.
So you get the flavor of how this
Alright.
Okay. Good to be missed.
without the vocals.
Good to see you, Chuck.
Well, good to see you. I remember you. You sat right there. We're gonna sit there again at the NAM show,
Yes.
right in the front,
Can't wait.
right in the front.
Best breakfast ever with you there.
And we got to sit up close.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find that picture of us.
This is very rock. This is the hip hop bluegrass.
I wonder if my phone shows.
Yeah.
I see
The
some.
first thing I hear.
Oh, man. I thought we had it all down.
I got a band and then I got a knock out code in there too. It's got a little interesting flavor. It's a little kind of different for my style.
How long you been working on that? Layering that up?
By yourself?
Nice.
I just went to Vegas a couple weeks ago and I had vocals put on it, and I'm finishing up with the vocals now. And then I've got a guy I'm going to come in. I'm going to have come in. I want to do a slide guitar, kind of a southern slide guitar part in there. I think it'll go well.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's, I also specialize. Have you heard my slide playing?
Oh wow! All right, you're signed up now.
Okay.
All right. I'd love to have you on it. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
we're all.
But I'm not trying to tune it. This is in
regular. So I do slide in both open G tuning and because open G gets a very authentic.
Well, this is in regular standard tuning.
That's fine. It doesn't. I can play either way.
Yeah, I like to pick out the melody and stuff.
All right, guys, we're ready to start. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay on you guys on Zoom.
Hey, we can see you.
Yeah. So it's been, every time we do this, we're doing something a little bit different. I got a new camera, and the new camera apparently is causing a little bit of problems with the audio. So now I've got to get a different interface, but we're going to get there eventually, real soon. But meanwhile, welcome to SongNet here. Welcome to you guys online. We're still going to try to keep doing these things hybrid because we have so many people from out of state. I know we have Jason, for example, is from the New York area, right?
All right.
Yeah. And Tori Lund there is, I think, somewhere near Nashville or something like that. Warren G is from the Pittsburgh area. So we've got a lot of people from, just, and then Stephen Palmederos is up north. Yeah. Let's see who else we have here from different places. Well, we got a lot of people from different places here. So we're going to go ahead and go with them first, of course, for reviews and things, because as you know, it's already near 10 o'clock out there. In fact, so we're trying to get them running real fast here. But I've known Colonel Darryl for quite some time. He's an incredible producer and everything else. And then Chuck, of course, Chuck knows everybody. He's been in the industry since probably the Flintstones. And he knows more about this music industry than anybody that I know. And he's got more stories, definitely, than anybody I know.
I'm going to try to keep them under control.
Yes, Darryl's going to try to keep it under control.
Darryl keeps me under control.
Yes. And one of you guys are going to go fishing, right? Absolutely. We'll be doing that. All right, so I'm going to let them talk a little bit for a while, and then we're going to do some listening. So let's give it over here. Give it up for Colonel Darryl and Chuck.
So we want to kind of interact with you guys a little bit tonight, but first we'll just talk a little bit about ourselves. I'm Colonel Darryl Harrelson. music producer. I'm former president of the California Country Music Association and former vice president of the North American Country Music Association out of Nashville. I've done talent competitions all over the country. That's how I got the Colonel. I was doing talent competitions in that part of the country, and the governor commissioned me a Kentucky Colonel, which I use in California because it works. And, you know, there's a lot of colonels in Tennessee and that area, but out here they don't use it so much, so it works well for music. It's an honorary title. I'm not a military man, but just like Colonel Sanders. And been in music since I was 8 years old. I'm a drummer. Play a little guitar, play a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Worked with a lot of people. I've worked with Donna Fargo, Gary Allen, Charlie Daniels. Worked with Leanne Rhymes when she was 10 years old. One of our shows that we did. Helped get her over to Curb Records and helped get her deal with the California Country Music Association. And I'll let Chuck talk a little bit about his history.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Chuck Tenin. Well, you have two companies in one, Big Fish Music and Big Fish Music Publishing Group. I've been in music since 1965, actually. And what we do is we publish and license music. We review and evaluate new music submissions for placement in music and our catalog. Professional member of BMI, ASCAP, the Recording Academy, NAM, the Independent Music Publishers Association of America, and several other ones. And over the years, I've worked with a lot of name artists and groups. I'm not going to mention who they are, but try and help and educate artists and songwriters that are upcoming, trying to make a career in the music industry, kind of show them the way. We also do, which Darryl handles that, production, recording, arranging, engineering, mixing, and mastering the music at different levels, from demos to full-blown recordings. And we also now took on a new thing a year ago. We also have the ability to get music on radio airplay all around the world. So we offer a lot, and we're still growing and still working on things and taking on a lot of projects. But I've always liked to, one of my passions is educating and helping songwriters and people. I tell people I never wanted wealth and fame or glory, but I like helping people and see them do well. And take my knowledge, and experience, and expertise over the years, really a lot. To write 5 encyclopedias of things, but that's what I do.
So we thought we'd start with just getting to know you guys a little better and those online. So by show of hands, how many people here have actually written a song? And how many people here belong to a songwriting organization? Okay. So what I thought we would do is, first of all, let's start with songwriting organizations. Now, hopefully you all belong to SongNet. So we're going to put that at the top here. So what other songwriting organizations do we have represented here?
ASCAP.
ASCAP, okay. ASCAP is a PRO, performing rights organization. So they help collect your royalties on things. Any other songwriting organizations? Anybody belong? BMI, same thing. Broadcast music.
Exchange.
Sound Exchange, okay. And what does Sound Exchange do?
Collects royalties for internet and radio online.
Okay. Anybody online coming in on organization? Anybody belong to?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
So, yeah, I started with Durango Songwriters,
Okay.
and then I'm part of Nashville Songwriters, SongNet, of course. Thank you guys. And I just recently joined Songs Alive. out of Southern California.
All right, so NSAI, Nashville Songwriters, right?
Yep.
Then Songs Alive, you said, okay. Okay. Any other organizations? Anybody familiar with other organizations out there?
The MLC,
Who was that?
MLC.
yeah,
Who's MLC?
What is that?
Mechanical Licensing Collective.
That's a big deal.
Okay.
New deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like a PRO?
No, they're the ones.
No,
New government thing that combines all the PROs and makes sure that the PROs doing their job.
I'll have to check into that.
It's an amazing thing. It's a federal deal.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one. I'll check into that. Anybody familiar with any others?
well, we're members of he said it, I guess, Songs Alive.
Songs Alive, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about Academy of Country Music? Anybody belong to that? ACM. How about CMA, Country Music Association? How about NAS? Is that still around?
No, they're around.
Well, they are, they more.
West Coast Songwriters?
Okay, thank you. What
And-
about CSEC?
CSAC.
Oh, CSEC, yeah.
All right, that's another PRO.
No, that's a performance rights.
Right.
That's what I said,
Yeah,
PRO.
yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
NSAI.
Yeah, that's Nashville Songwriters Association. Okay, and then there's most states have their own songwriting organizations also. The point of all this is we had some good ones here, but there's a lot that people are not aware of. And those that are in these NSAI, Durango, SongNet, ASCAP, has anybody had success with any of their songs or met somebody that helped them have success through any of these organizations? Okay, show of hands, anybody? Okay,
Well,
so was it through the organization, through somebody you met through the organization? What was it exactly? Anybody online?
well, Dee, I want you to define success because frankly, I mean, I'm getting more of an audience as a result of my membership through SongNet and Songs Alive and mentorship through these organizations, that type of thing, more
Okay.
presence.
All right, so the point of this, yes, go ahead.
Well, another one, broadjam.com. That's an online.
Yeah, that's an online, Broadjam, yeah.
I think Jane had something to say too. Jane? Jane, you
Oh, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I've had placements on film and TV, not directly, I mean, not from an associate at ASCAP. I'm with ASCAP. It wasn't directly through ASCAP, but my royalties.
Through somebody
from
you
that.
met at an ASCAP function?
No, it was through the person I just had a song last year on Nancy Drew, and it was the person I co-wrote the song with is kind of more connected in the music supervisor world, and he got it placed.
How did you connect with him?
How did I connect with the co-writer?
With the person that got that?
Yeah, so I used to perform up at this farmer's market in Montrose, and he would come with his child a few years back, and we ran into each other. I have a child now, and we ran into each other, and he's a musician, and we were like, hey, let's write something together. And so we
Great. So
wrote
you
it.
co-wrote on something. So the point we're trying to make, and there's a couple of things I'm surprised we don't mention, such as taxi. You know, that's a lot of people seem to be part of that. I'm not saying good or bad on any of these organizations. We're just throwing them out there that these are organizations that are supposed to help you promote your music. So most organizations have festivals, functions, monthly songwriting things, such as SongNet does, where you guys get to interact with professionals or open mic or head music. Some like NSAI, they will critique your songs, and I've been through some of those. But the point is to help get songs placed, to help you with your music, it really is vitally important that if you can be part of any of these organizations and help in any way, because if you go, for example, to a Texas taxi road rally, there's way too many people there. You're not going to get any special attention. But if you go to enough events through any of these organizations and you start volunteering, you start helping, you start getting to know people, you become familiar with these people, it's going to open, like she said, it's going to open opportunities where people see you either when you're performing, when you're helping them, and you get to know the people. And in this industry, it's important to have a great song, of course, and have a good production, but vitally, you have to have some kind of connection to a person that's going to help you promote your song in some way, or co-write, or whatever it's going to be. So that's kind of the point we wanted to start with tonight, is just try to get you all involved in, if you haven't heard of these organizations, check them out. Some of these are better than others, and I'm not going to go into that tonight, but SongNet is certainly a great organization to have your performances heard, to meet like people that you can either co-write with or talk to the people that are here presenting, that maybe you can go further. For example, Richard and I met at, I don't remember where we met, but Richard is a guy that we've done a few things in my studio, just small things, but we get together and we've gotten to know each other just through, have developed a personal relationship because of our common music language, right? So that's basically all I wanted to say about that. And right now, for example, I met a guy in December at a awards ceremony in Peru, and he was a filmmaker, and we got along very well. And 3 weeks later, they're shooting scenes for a movie in my house. Okay, so and through that, I became the audio engineer that cleaned up all the audio in that movie, just through a random meeting at a function. And now we're on the second movie, and I'm the audio engineer for the entire movie, because just working your way up for doing things like this, and it's opening up a whole avenue of being able to place my songs in these movies and get them to, up the food chain. So it's important to get out there and involve yourself with either these organizations, people that functions, especially ASCAP has an expo every year. BMI has a thing. Gibson used to have a thing every few months. I don't think they're doing that anymore.
They just started. I get things from Gibson Records. They just started up.
Yeah, they used to have a thing in Beverly Hills that they were doing, and I don't think they're doing that right now. But
Remember that.
But there's things out there where you just start going to these things and really just talk to people and do your networking thing, because it's vitally important in the music industry to do as much networking as you possibly can. For example, before the show tonight, seminar, whatever you want to call it, Tom in the first row here came up to Chuck and said, "Hey, I met you 25 years ago." So you never know when things like that are going to happen.
Yeah. Timing is everything, being in the right place at the right time. And I tell a lot of songwriters, go to the events, go to the seminars where people are speaking, and after they're done, go up, introduce yourself, shake their hand, tell them you enjoyed it, whatever. If they have a book, get their book, and don't stop there. Find out where else they're going to be, and spend the time and go there until you get to a point where they say, "Hey, Chuck, how are you? Hey, I'm fine. Hey, I got this new song. Send it to me." But one time isn't enough. You need to be active. You have to get out there and go to these things, and you have to build relationships, and it takes time. Anybody that's ever been successful, it was always being at the right place at the right time, because timing is everything. And you never know who you're going to meet. I met a lot of people just by fluke things, and it turned into good things where we got things placed and we made money, and they made money, and we built a relationship. And from that, it's like an inner within networking where they will introduce you to people. So it's not about you pitching things all the time and waiting for the telephone to ring. You know, that may not happen, but it's about building a relationship and let those people know who you are. So when you run into them, hey, Chuck, how are you? Fine. You know, you build something, anything, you got to open the door, but then continue on. But you got to, my mother used to tell me hard work never hurt anyone. And the world doesn't know anyone who live it. I used to go to a lot more than I do now, speak of things, but I'd go just to explore, observe, meet people, see the people that would be the most interest that could help me, and make it a point in some way to get to know them so they remember me. It's not going to happen in one time. It's going to take a number of times, but you have to get out there and be active in a lot of shows. When I first went to the NAMM show, I said to myself, boy, what am I doing here? It's the wrong place. And it was. But then I said, how can I interact with the NAMM show, make something happen with it? And to this day, guess what? To speak there. You know, a lot of people in the companies, a lot of musicians, a lot of manufacturers. I know them, and I get a lot of benefits in going there, and they all know me.
How many people have gone to the NAMM show? Raise your hand.
What was your experience?
Well, hold on. How many people have performed at one of the showcases at the NAMM show? Jimmy? Anybody else? Okay, so here's another opportunity.
Yeah.
You have so many insiders at the NAMM show.
Insiders.
And they have all these showcases in all the hotels around there and on the showgrounds themselves. They have all these opportunities where you can get up there and play a couple of songs through these showcases, and you never know who's going to be in that audience. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, I'm in the audience at the Marriott, and a guy named Grayson was playing a set, and he's just playing, just not really saying anything. And he says, and he says, well, I'm going to do a cover. I really love this guy. I hope to meet him. And he starts playing a Stevie Wonder song, and sure enough, Stevie Wonder walks in the door. And not only does he walk in the door, he gets up on stage and sings with the guy.
Wow.
I mean,
Nice.
a life-changing experience. So that's a great opportunity if you can check with some of the people. There are all kinds of organizations that put on songwriter things in all the different hotels that are around the NAMM show during that entire show. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you're a performing musician, that's a great opportunity to get some notice. Now, let's talk a little bit about demos, publishing. You know, having a great song is an important thing. Once you have a song that's in a format that somebody can understand the message you're trying to portray. For example, I might have somebody send me lyrics. I don't know what to do with lyrics. I mean, they can tell me what the song is somewhat about, but I cannot hear what that person had in their head when they write those lyrics. So they have to put the song in a form that we get an idea of where they're coming from. Now, I've had simple piano or a guitar and a vocal, and that's all good. But in order to get the attention of a professional, you're going to have a demo in a format that is acceptable and something where they can listen to and say, hey, I can make money off this.
Yeah.
That's what's in a professional's mind. I can make money off of this. Not, oh, this is a great looking guy. No, I mean, that may be something else, but they're thinking, how can I make money? Yeah. So that's important to keep in your mind when you're doing a demo is you need to think, okay, how can I make this in a form where it's going to attract somebody they think they might make some money on. And same thing with the publisher. A publisher is going to do the same thing. They're going to look at this song and they're going to think, what can I do with this song? How much work and effort do I have to put into this song in order to put it in a movie, put it in a commercial, put it in a jingle, put it in wherever they're going to be able to use the song to make money. I mean, I'm sorry, it's called business for a reason. It's all about making money. And when you get to, when you become a professional, it is about the music, it is about the songs, but it's also about making a living. Talk about book publishing.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say about in creating and writing songs, the first thing is what we call a songwriter in process work demo. Okay, they're great because you got something you can play for someone. But in this day and age, there's 45 million songwriters in the United States and 1 trillion songs floating around the world, and they all want the same thing. And again, it's about placement and working hard at it. But today's demo goes beyond just the songwriter work demo. It's just like Darryl said, and we get lyrics, what are you going to do with it? What's the value? First of all, you got to hear something. Then you take it and make it into an acceptable form, because when people listen to it, they listen for something they need whatever it is. A music publisher is kind of like a grocery department in a big supermarket. Different kinds of apples, different kinds of oranges, where people have a choice. Well, a publisher, we keep music of all kinds. We don't limit it. We look for good songs. But we also, in reviewing and evaluating it, we do it on the basis of what we hear. We have to listen to it. And we have more than one people that listen and they give their opinion. And we'll take that opinion and consolidate it and send it back to the songwriter and say, hey, here's your evaluation. Here's the review. This is your song. You might say what's wrong, what it needs, and what have you. Okay, but it's going to give you feedback. And most companies don't do that. We do that. We've always done that. But we'll tell it like it is. There's no gimmicks. But I can tell you this, in this day and age, a good demo is very important, because on the first listen, some part of that song, whoever listens to it, has got to catch it. You got to bring them into it. And then they can go back and re-listen to it. We listen to things more than one time, because you're not going to catch everything. But people that do song demos and they submit it and think, oh boy, if somebody likes it, they're going to develop it, spend the money. Oh, if they like it, they use it. That's not the case. That went out 50 years ago. Now people want to run with something. They want something. And there's so much music that's needed in TV, film, commercials, advertising. I mean, they use it. Go look at the TV. You see more commercials with music than ever before. And it pays a lot of money. And TV, soap operas pay a lot of money because they're network primetime ones. They pay a lot of money. Commercials, advertising, videos, documentaries. We even gave a song to a timeshare, and they're selling their timeshare, but the music is important.
Talk about the War Museum.
What?
The World War Museum.
Oh yeah, we did a project for the 9/11 National Veterans Memorial Museum. And they took our song. We did a full CD project with it, so it would benefit the museum, benefit the veterans, benefit people that gave their lives, and all the supporters of military. We designed a beautiful thing. We were commissioned to do it. And it's to be in the museum. We have a song that a songwriter wrote one night. He was driving from Texas to New Mexico, and he saw the moon sitting on top of a mountain peak. Gave him an idea for a song. He wrote it, and a friend of his sent it to us. We produced the song. I said to the songwriter, I found a company that might be interested in Texas. By golly, sent it to them. And went up to the ranks, and they said, we want this song. It fits our business. We love it. You know what they do? They bury people in space. But they're going to make a trip to the surface of the moon. The title of the song is Bury Me on the Moon. And we did a whole thing on that. Boy, they want that. And it's going to go to the moon. We did a a project for the 9/11s coming up, 9/11. We did for the National Memorial Museum for 9/11. We did two different things. We did a video and we did a CD with all the credits for them and whatever, the whole purpose to benefit our country, the museum and whatever. And we did that. They loved it. And so there's a lot of areas that you may not think about. Everybody thinks in terms of, well, I want Mariah Carey, I want this person to do it. That's not the answer. You go where people need music. And they all started the same way, but there's lots of companies that do things. They use music all the time. It's getting the foot in the door. And that's why I say whether it's music supervisors or somebody that's doing a seminar, you get to know them so they know your first name.
So he met these people, again, at events or different
Yeah.
things where you meet these people, you get to know them, you get to, and hopefully they have a need for your music. As I said earlier, I'm working with in this martial arts movie now, but they have a scene where they're racing a cigarette boat over the ocean, and he wanted a song that sounded like Miami Vice. So I started working on a song that sounded, I mean, it didn't sound like it, but it had the same kind of driving feel. And so, you know, me, the country guy all my life. Well, now I'm doing songs for that. I'm doing hip hop, bluegrass. I'm doing, you know, you do whatever, whatever need there is. You start trying to branch out into having a body of work that you can rely on instead of just a specific genre or a specific subset of a feel. Like I said, and in the martial arts, I'm going to start doing some music with a little Asian flavor in it. So, because you never know.
Tell you another thing. We had a song that we did 30 years ago, and it did well. 30 years later, the song was sent to a radio promoter who we became good friends with. And he's been in the business. He has the power to get music played on the radio all around the world. But they go through a process. It's got to be something they feel that radio would play. Well, guess what happened on that? They played that. In 1 week, it had 50,000 airplays. And the DJs were writing on different things. And two young girls, 20 and 23, liked the song so much, they're going to be in the studio and do a video. They're going to do a very youthful version of that song. And they work hard, and they're going to do well. But a song that was done 30 years ago and got played on the radio, and that's a hard thing to get music on the radio. But radio can help because people can hear songs, or if you're an artist songwriter, it's going to help your career. But somebody that can guarantee they're going to get your music on these stations, and you're going to get a report every week, and you're going to be in their magazine and be on the playlist, and you're going to get input from that radio. Boy, try and do that. I tell people, you know, hey, go to radio, see if they'll play your music. They won't. They'll tell you, don't let the door hit you on the way out. They're not going to do that.
They have.
So it's,
they go through specific program directors or companies, and you know, there's a process that's very hard to get around unless you can find the people that are able to get around that process for you. So again, it comes down to connection.
yeah, and you know, as a music publisher, we had a song that wasn't written to be a hit or produced to be a hit, but there was a place for it. And it happened to be a song that would fit runway fashion shows. Boy, there's a load of them that do that, including Victoria's Secret. And that song was done for that. We're working on a video now, but you know what? I do research and look at every company that does runway fashion shows because this song could fit. But who knows what's going to happen when it fits? God, everybody could love it. You don't know that, but you got to network and connect and do the work.
So here's a homework assignment for everybody. This week sometime, you're watching TV, if you're out somewhere, find something that sticks in your brain, something that you would
See how it
never,
works.
ever in your life think that you would ever be interested in writing a song about. And then write a song about it. And then try to develop it more than just the basic song. Think, okay, what can I add to this that would bring it to the next level? Because that's very important. I mean, for example, you do a guitar, you do guitar and vocal, that's fine. But add a bass. You know, add some basic drums to it. Whether you program them, whether you hit on a table, however you do it, just add a little bit at a time and see how far you can get with it before you think, okay, I'm at a level now where maybe I need to talk to somebody else, to a professional, that type of thing. But just challenge yourself, because the more you do things like that, the more you're going to grow as a songwriter, if nothing else. And you'll have another body of work to share if the opportunity ever comes along. So on the production end of things, ideally, you know, you want a full-fledged production. I'm just finishing up this song for a woman in Kentucky, where not only do we have the basic, you know, band instruments and vocals, and we have background vocals, we have baritone sax, we have horns on it, we have, you know, lead guitars, we have all this thing on this song. Not all songs need that, but in this case, it was a full-fledged production, and we do a lot of those. But we also do. I'm going to use Richard as an example. Richard was going to be in this Americana contest last year, or year before.
Oh yeah.
And he played me a couple of the songs he wanted to enter for the contest, and I said, well, you know, let's do a little bit with it. And so we just added some basic flavor to it, added some basic drums and some basic bass on it, and didn't really work too much on layering vocals or doing anything crazy to it. But basically, he came in, did like an afternoon, and then I did an afternoon, and then I was in Big Bear, and I just kind of did it on my laptop over the weekend, and then he had to submit it the next week. So we actually brought a couple of those songs just so you get an idea on a basic demo that takes it from just what would have been a contest of just a guitar and a vocal to just adding a few minor things just to try to bring it up a little bit. Jimmy, do you have Fly Away Angel?
Fly Away Angel?
You know what Darryl's doing now? Something that most people don't do. When he's producing a song, it's maybe a high quality demo. After it's done, he's doing a video with it, with the lyrics on there. Boy, I'll tell you, most people don't do that. But he does that, and you can hear it and see the video, because songs make artists, artists make songs, songs sell records, songs make videos come alive. It's an amazing thing. The song could do wonderful things, but it's where it fits. But the more things you can do,
yes, and it helps promote it
helps
the song,
to promote the
and
song.
it gets it out there. It's easy to put on YouTube.
It's on this drive?
Yes.
Oh,
And my belief has always been that music is as visual as it is audio. For
We help
example,
one another.
how many here remember the very first 45 or album that they ever got when they were a kid? Okay. Everybody up? Tom, what color was the label?
White,
You know why you know that?
because I was really impressed with that first.
Because you sat there and you watched it spin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you remember that.
Yeah.
The music became imprinted, the visual became imprinted with the music because of the visual stimuli.
Yeah.
Same thing with the lyric video. If you can give them a little stimuli in a visual form, you will more remember the music. It's very important.
What's this, right?
How many of you that, Tom, you're the guinea pig, that you submit music to somebody,
And then I gotta share 50%.
publisher, whatever, how many responses do you get back, and how much rejection do you get?
I haven't been that active.
Okay.
I've been writing and accumulating things, performing, and so I've
So you have, that's the
haven't done
reason.
that much
Okay.
presentation.
Okay, but do you think you're gonna eventually make time to do that?
Yeah.
If you want to get results.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, they tell me, or I send it to somebody, I never heard anything, or I got these rejections. And if you got the rejections and you looked at them, what if they all said the same thing? Would you fix it? Sure. So it's important when you do a demo to go beyond creating it and just a raw work demo in process, take it and develop it to the next level with people that can help you to do that, to put it in a form that would be acceptable. Because a lot of people don't hear and they have to reach. So you want something that when they hear it, they can feel it, they can hear it, the vocals cut through, the music is on there. It's got to be a good demo.
Right.
Otherwise, what are they going to do with it?
To finish up the visual thing, one of the problems with CDs, you know, we had the records, we all remember the records that we had because we watched them spin. Then CDs came along, you put them in this little black box, they disappeared, and your mind immediately goes somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That was one of the big problems with CDs. Music is visual.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play the Fly Away Angel if you will. This is just the bare bones over weekend project, but just brought it to a next level for the contest he entered.
To do a double click.
I had it all set up with my Mac. My Mac crashed, so now we're going to get on his.
We got the volume all the way down too. It's muted.
Right, that's what I'm trying to fix. Yeah. You got to punch it way up. That's the
It's not. It's still nothing.
thing. Is it even playing?
No.
No.
Try the second song, see if that makes it better.
Feeling awfully lonely on the 405. Wheels are gridlocked at the ones in my mind. Thinking about a woman from a long time ago who sang like an angel with a choir of gold. And it was raining in LA when that angel flew away.
Towards the end, if you have any questions you want to ask Darryl or myself, anything that's on your mind, we'll answer your questions.
He had a guest book list. I would come around. He had wings and a head.
Different places to adjust the sound.
Yeah, it's wide open. Try one more time.
Okay.
choir ago. It was raining in LA when that angel flew away.
You can stop it after the instrument here. Okay. So you can see it's a great little song, and he's doing all this nice fancy finger work on the guitar, but just adding the bass and the drum in there just brings it to another level where it draws you in, where it might not if you didn't have that there. So that's just, and it's not expensive to do things like that. I mean, there are programs out there if you want to program your own bass in there or drums. It's not terribly difficult to do. If you don't have any knowledge, then I would either get a little set of toy electronic drums or whatever, just so you can have a little bit of snare and kick in there. It really helps the song. But the second one, this one was a little more interesting because it's kind of a off tempo type of a thing.
Cool.
Okay, I'm lost again here. Steve go. Steve.
He was in the restroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm lost again. There's bug repellent out there too. If you want to grab that.
Right there in the box. Yes. Yeah, there was some bug spray in there. No, there was a little box of bug spray there.
A basket of bug spray.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Can you just bring one of those? Thanks.
Inviting you?
I don't want those Bill
Yeah,
Gates
I'm
mosquitoes
getting
getting me.
I really like your music.
I'm not going to-
Thank you.
Bill Gates mosquitoes.
Shouldn't have said that, should I?
I'm not getting it.
Trying to play the second song he's having.
Oh.
I lost it.
The second one is called Tumbleweed. And you notice the drums are in the background. I didn't bring them out too far because it's all about his song. It's him entering. It's for this contest, so I wanted to put the other stuff in the background.
As a kid, you said you aimed so tough and tried to kick it right in the crop. Your leg fell through, and that's when you knew all those little suckers sticking on you. The amazing flying past
Based on a true
You can go ahead and stop it. So now in a full demo, of course, you'd layer the vocals, you'd bring the drums up a bit, you'd fill it out with other instruments, there would be a lot more fullness to it. For the use, in this case, Americana contest, it works fairly well, and the drum and in the background and the bass just really add and give it that nice cement that hopefully will generate interest in the song. And then from there, like I said, you can layer the vocals, you can tune the vocals, you can add background vocals, you can do other things to it depending on budget, depending on the use of the song. If you're intending it to use it in a major production, then you'd have to fill it out a bit more. It just kind of depends on the use of the song. Or if you're just getting it to a publisher, for example, and you want their opinion or a professional, something like that would work just fine. So, anybody have any questions at this point before we go on to the demo reviews? Yes,
I just wanted to get back just real quick, so you guys, what Chuck was asking Tom, this experience of putting these songs, I've been entering the Song City Nashville Song Contest now 2 or 3 times. You guys, I haven't won anything, but they give you feedback, and for me, it's like from 1 to 5, and almost on every song I've entered, I got a few 5s and some 4s, and they say you nailed it, or they say, but they give me feedback on the song, and I found that really valuable. But it's kind of like what Chuck, to reiterate, I feel like I'm establishing. I don't know any of these people, but I feel like all of a sudden, over 4 or 5 times of entering, oh, here comes Richard again with one of his little, it's almost like you're saying.
What do they charge you for that dinner?
I think it's a nominal fee. I can't remember. It could be 15, 20 or something per song. I mean, that's typical, I think, of what's there. But
I think so, yeah.
I found the feedback, whereas
But you're
Kerrville.
getting feedback.
Yes, I am.
That's
I'm
important.
getting feedback on a scale from 1 to 5, plus some comments each time I enter a
Do
song.
they give you in the feedback, do they give you any in-depth about your submission?
They do. About the structure of the song, if they feel this
Okay.
could enhance it here, if you brought this up, or maybe add some variation. I've had a few things, because I tend to just do things in
Kind of
my
look at-
own
yeah.
singular vision.
Do
But
they tell you what's wrong and what it needs to make it right?
I think so, yeah. I think they're offering, like you're saying, a production value. Here, you could do this here. You could do that there. You could vary it and keep the listener's attention span more engaged in the song.
You know, a lot
Do
of
they sign their names to it? Do they send any kind of invitation to go
put
further
their
with
name?
them, like hitting them up on social media or anything?
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
Because that's also a great, if somebody does give you feedback, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, can I hit you up on social media? And, that's another way of getting to know people, and them getting to know you is just through the social media contact. It's a little more difficult depending on how many people that are doing that, but it's certainly another avenue to get yourself in front of that person, because when the time comes when they're looking for a particular thing, you want them to think your name, not somebody else's name. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
You know, another thing, Darryl's working on something. My feelings have always been, as a music person and a music publisher, is that if I'm going to help a songwriter, whatever way I'm going to help them, I don't want to take away. And a lot of people in this country, most places, if they do a song and they start telling you, well, they had to write the melody or they did the music or whatever, all of a sudden they want to be your partner. They want to have the song, even though you paid for it. And what I've always preached is, no. You know what? If you have to change a word or a line or do something, then that should be included in whatever it costs to do the demo. Period. Do not take it away from the songwriter, because then you start getting hands in there before you get a chance to do something. Let the songwriter get his shot at what he's going to do. Don't take it away. I see that over and over and over all the time. They do that, and I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Unless they're an established commercial artist, and they want to use your song and it's going to be a mega hit, then it's okay to give some credit and to get your foot in the door.
He'll work with them, with the songwriters, and if there's something not right, he'll tell them, and then they'll fix it. He's not going to say, gee, you got to do this now, or I'm this. No, he'll fix it. He'll do what's right for the song, and when it gets done, because you have to remember another thing, when he's done producing a demo or a full master recording or whatever in between, hey, if his name's on there or he did the work, well, he wants to be proud of the work. Not if the song's a success, great, but on what he did, he wants somebody to say, hey, I like what you did, man. I'm going to go with you, rather than
as a producer, not a songwriter.
Yeah, as a producer. But I can't believe how many demos people send me that spent money at companies that, because say you get what you pay for, but they did their job. They did a demo. But by our standards, not acceptable. By industry standards, no. And so that means it's very important if you had an opportunity to get your song to, say, a vice president or a decision maker in a company, you're going to send them something that you want them to like and use. And that's the whole point. So whatever is necessary to take it to the next level, And the thing that comes up is when demos were done and really taken the high quality level, the songwriter would get it back and say, wow, this is really great, whatever. And then they take their demo that they had done or they did, and they start playing it for their friends. And they say, which one do you like better? And my answer is, take the thing, put it away. Why did you have somebody produce your demo if you're going to compare it with what you had and see what your friends, they're not going to help you. Take the one that's the best shot and you go with that, put the other one away. And some don't know what that means. Why would you compare something?
Okay, so let's go on to demo critiques or
Let's just use the start off with
Yeah, let me move this back so you can
Yeah.
see the lyrics.
it's a little flimsy, so you can actually just move it out of the way if you want. General rule of thumb when I'm working with somebody on a song is if I have to write more than 25% of it, then I'm going to say, look, if I have to write more than 25% of your song, well, a little bit of the songwriting. However, there have been songs actually recently where I've said, okay, I need you to come up with another verse. And I'll send the song, okay, and here are some guidelines I'd like you maybe think about this topic or that topic that add to your first and second verse. And then I'll send it back to the person, they'll send it back, and then I'll say, okay, this is pretty good, but let's keep this part, try again. And I'll do that a few times. But a good producer will try to get the songwriter to come up, and you're also teaching them by doing that, because I really don't want a co-writing thing. I want to be a producer on a successful song, and I'm not here to take away your credit as a songwriter.
That's right. I ask a lot of songwriters when they complete their demo, whoever they did it with, I said, are you 100% happy with it? No. Well, you know what? They need to be happy. If they're not happy, then you know what? Then take it to someone that can do it right and make you happy. And another thing that should be done on demos or recordings is a lot of people, what you see is what you get. They'll send you their mix and say, here it is.
I hope you don't expect
We don't
read
do
that
that.
from here.
We do
Oh,
5
yeah.
or 6
Yeah.
mixes, an instrumental with backgrounds and an instrumental by itself. We'll say to the songwriter, pick the one you like. And if they say, well, I like this one, well, guess what? But here's the one professionally evaluated is the one that's going to go out in the market. But guess what? You got them all. So if you're happy with this, but it's funny how they all come to the conclusion they picked the one that we felt was the best. But by having more than one mix, you have a choice, and you can see what you like.
Oh, which is a good point. If you're going to submit a song for review for somebody, for a publisher, always send them an instrumental version also, because they may need something without lyrics for something also, and it just gives them more choice.
I had a guy.
We're going to.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. We'll never get through unless we.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
these guys in
Yeah.
the East Coast are
Yeah.
real late now.
Okay.
Okay, so this first one's by Jason Trachtenberg called
Okay, so before we get into it, anybody have any comments on anything they heard? Richard?
The vocal need to be.
Definitely, vocal definitely needs to come up and be cleaner.
One other thing.
Wait a minute, let them first.
All
Okay, anything else?
One of the other things too is that we got a real poor.
Yeah, it could be the acoustics here. This could be part of it. But yeah, it was a little hard. The vocal was a little buried and a little muddy.
Muddy.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It needs to be cleaner.
Anything else that anybody has?
I like the attitude of
Okay.
the singer. I thought he had a cool, point of view.
I like the little rundown, the cool little rundown before the bridge on the 4 chords there, and I like that. That was really nice. I'll tell you what I did not like, and that was the tone of the lead guitar, because it sounded too much like the Eagles, and the intro sounded just like the Eagles.
Yeah.
I would put more bite or change the tone of that lead guitar a bit. Just to take it away, because you don't want people thinking of somebody else's song when they hear your song.
Yeah, the guitar player actually plays in an Eagles cover band.
There you go. So yeah, put a Sans amp and put a little bite in there, a little drive. That would help that on that lead guitar.
I liked it a lot.
Sorry, what?
I liked the song a lot. I thought it was clever. I thought it was a really good melody and it was fun. And I kind of liked the effect on the vocal. It sounded kind of quirky and that felt intentional to me.
Okay, well, it's a little hard to understand what he was saying, but it may be the acoustics here. Anything else?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say essentially the same thing. The vocal needs to be mixed better. It's muddy, needs to be cleaner. You want to hear the words. And the music is good, and the song's a good idea. I would add an instrument like a piano in there.
A little counter melody wouldn't hurt.
Counter
Sure.
melody. Counter melody.
And a counter melody, just in case you don't know, is especially when the vocal's going on, you have a little thing in the background going on that draws people in. They're kind of, oh, what's that? What's that? So that's always a good little thing going on. Okay.
I like the idea.
All right, next is this is a song by Orange G called Echoes in the Park.
Okay.
And let me bring up the lyrics here.
Everybody on Zoom, you're hearing it okay? Yeah, okay.
Song, that little feedback. I think feedback probably.
I think it's feedback
it's
here.
finding
Yeah.
the mouse.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting a little feedback on
Oh,
different,
okay.
just a little bit of the vocal towards the end
Okay.
of the verse. No, I want to make sure it wasn't in the song.
Yeah.
It's a nice little song. I let it go long because I was seeing if any other instruments were going to come in. The harmonica came in at either at verse 2 or the end of verse 2, which was nice. I would have it kind of floating under the vocal a little more, just because it's nice once it's there. I would soften it a little bit. I would use a mouth harp on it. I think that would be a nice little addition. You know,
Just what I was gonna say.
yeah.
Maybe even a jug too.
A jug. Hey, there
A
you go.
jug.
Something
A
interesting.
jug
Make it
and a
interesting.
jaw harp.
But it's a nice little song.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some percussion of some kind, same flavor as the song itself from the period. But the bass was a little loud, but actually I like the idea of mellowing it out, making it sound like a jug would be kind of interesting.
The banjo was carrying this.
Yeah, the banjo was pretty much
Banjo was
carrying
carrying it too much.
That's
and
why I
then
say that the harmonica is good, but you just kind of mellow it out and kind of let it
and they
float
squeeze-
around.
Yeah.
Once you bring it in, just kind of let it continue on under the vocal and then take the solo parts. But yeah, just add a little flavor to it. Needs a few more little additions to it.
But they squeezed it in little by little until they introduced it.
Yeah.
The harmonica.
Very nice.
Okay, so the next one is by Tori Lund and Blake English. Let's see. I'm gonna find it. It's called Outlaw.
Okay.
And,
Everybody wants your lady. They know what's down to the promised land. If you're going out to go, they'll go down on power fools. I hope no one else will know. They know. They know. Everybody wants to be down low. Everybody wants to be your lady. Everybody wants to be down low. Everybody wants to get paid. Well, I'm tired of hearing about the whiskey. Makes you feel talk so bad. You tell me so, you're a deadbeat knocked off only to put a cash. Cash. One land.
Anybody? Very, very nice, very nice. Actually, it'd be perfect for what's her name? Blake Shelton's ex-wife. Perfect for her. Right up her alley. Nice, very clean, very nice.
I had a little trouble with the intro. It was like it was in a tin can.
That's the idea. That was the effect.
It was okay.
It's
All
okay,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I would put when you're talking about being an outlaw and stuff, I'd put a couple of gunshots or a little hoot and holler and a little flavor in there, just to kind of grab people's attention in the background.
Organ maybe.
Yeah, or yeah, maybe a little organ in there.
Organ.
Just something to hold it down, but it's very clean, very nice, and definitely is right up. God, what is her name? I can't think of her name. But that's right up her alley.
Maybe next two.
Get Van Halen in the house, I guess.
No, that's me. I gotta kill this.
Okay.
Is that you singing, Darryl?
Yeah, I was just saying.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, next one is Jane Sheldon.
No, it's very, very nice demo.
And
She's one of my favorite artists, actually. Tori's amazing.
All right, so tell me the name of that stupid artist because it's going to bug me until I go home and I look it up.
That was
Starts with
Troy
an M.
London, Blake English.
Miranda Lambert, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right, so this is by Jane Sheldon. It's called Marigold.
Yeah.
I'm not saying things change, but I'm not the same. Raining on a daily bread on a big parade. 'Cause lately it seems like things were thought we knew. This town keeps getting colder. It's a little harder. It's a little deeper. He picks me up at the bus stop by Langley Park. I'm married to a man, night shift at 6 o'clock. And how that gets so unmistakably tangled up with the life I am choosing, name that I did not want. Is that
I wanted to go into verse 2, so I wanted to hear what you did with that. Anybody?
Really nice melody, nice singing.
Now, obviously, this is a song where the vocal carries. If the vocal is not there, the song is going to sound god awful. So you have a very lovely voice, and it carries it very well. But I would, and this was in the verse. That's why I waited for verse 2. You have a acoustic guitar under the vocal, which is nice, but I would put an electric strumming just to kind of give you a little counter melody, so it's not all just bass and vocal, just so there's a little something else going on would be my suggestion in that one.
Yeah, I think it's a nice demo, but I had a little trouble at the beginning, kind of confusing. Maybe if it was more defined, and then my thoughts on the vocal. I like the vocal, but I think if the tone and the pitch was down a little, it would come across better. What do you think, Darryl?
Well, it's a unique voice.
Yeah.
And
Voice.
and she carries it well. I mean, another singer would probably butcher it.
Yeah, I know.
Terribly,
But do
yeah.
you think maybe the tone remix?
You could add a little bass, a little more lower register in there, but it is kind of a.
I think,
it offsets the bass.
I think what happens too, so I tracked that, I did an EP and we did 4 songs in 2 days. And that vocal it was like the very last vocal that we did. And it was at the 10 o'clock at night, and we had to be out of the studio at 12 kind of thing, and those things happen in the studio where it's just like, you gotta get it done and you gotta make choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little story. I had a label send me out to Detroit to do an album with a singer a long time ago, and they wanted to do 10 songs over a long weekend. And I get out there, and she only knew 2 of the songs. Had never heard most of the songs. And one of the songs, of all things, was "These Boots Are Made for Walking." This was a young woman, 18 years old, had never heard the song in her life. Now, how do you explain to somebody how to do These Boots Are Made for Walking that has never heard the song? It's almost, trying to get that rundown with the vocal, so we had to end up doing something else on it. But the point I'm trying to make is, after the first day, her voice was gone. Just gone.
Oh, yeah.
And we still had 8 songs to do. So, what do? You're drinking tea, you're doing this, you're doing that. And as a producer, you got to do what you have to do to get through the sessions. And it's a tough thing when you're on a tight schedule like that, to try to get everything perfect. But I feel for you. The vocal is actually quite lovely, and you don't hear tired or anything in it. But I just would add that little counter melody would be my only suggestion in there, just to give it a little. It gives it another little treble flavor in there that will help with the vocal. It'll tame the vocal a little bit because you already got that bass up just about the same level. Put the little electric down here, just a little strumming jazz type of a thing. I think would just help it a little bit.
Thanks,
My
guys.
opinion.
Nice song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Mike Telega. It's called Winter Birds.
Is he here?
I'm not sure.
See if he's on.
There's that unknown person. I don't know who it is.
Okay, well, if they're not going to put their name up, then we're just going to skip them.
Mike, are you here? Is Mike here?
Funny, it's Winter Bird.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
It came up.
If he's not here, we'll skip over it, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Let's do 13102. Or
Yeah. Not sure who this person is. So.
Yeah, well, they're not relabeling, so.
Yeah. Okay. So next up would be Owen Darryl, and
Owen's here.
Owen's here,
Okay.
of course. So
So he can beat me up if I don't say
called
something.
Civilized Times. And
Not an Alanis.
huh?
You didn't get an Alanis submission?
She's on the list.
Oh, no, but she submitted something, it's not in there?
Yeah, I've got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
I was amongst the first to walk this earth. I'm losing strength in my self-worth. I'm dying with every breath, losing my native ways. I'm living civilized days. I walked with soil on my feet. It now lies buried beneath the street. And the scent of the bitter end I'm breathing from the air. In this progress I'm forced to share. If they could see it all through my eyes, fading world and silent cries, I'm helpless towards these crimes, smothering beneath civilized times. I mourn as spirits leave the trees. The angry earth speaks through raging seas. As they...
Okay, anybody?
I like it. I kind of like what you said in our song about an organ or something in the background, like one of the pre-chorus to the chorus. Maybe start fleshing that out, like counter melody, and kind of give a fuller sound behind the vocal.
Absolutely.
Kind of bring that emotional kind of thing up.
Okay.
That was my impression.
Have you ever heard of double tracking?
Yes.
Okay, do you know what it is?
I think it's where you sing the same thing twice, is that right? And then
Yeah, and you want a slight variation. You don't do it intentionally, but just the fact that you're doing two vocals, naturally, one will be slightly different than the other one. And so on certain words, especially towards the end of the verse or end of the chorus, you can bring in the other one, which adds and gives you that little, like Simon and Garfunkel type of a thing. So it would kind of bring in a little bit of interest if you did a little bit of double tracking on that and just brought it in at certain points before you're going to a new section. And what I would do, I thought initially until the second verse, it was just the guitar and your vocal. I thought it was that way all the way through. And I like when you brought in the congas and stuff in it. But I would soften the first part because it was very strong, and when you came with the second part, there was really nowhere to go. I'd probably bring that down a little dynamically, just so it rises to the next verse a little bit, just in volume and soften that vocal up a little bit. Would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I think they're nice lyrics. I would develop the song more. Maybe adding a nice guitar, an organ in there.
The organ's a good idea.
Yeah, the organ is a great idea. And you know, you were talking about double tracking there. There's another word for something else depending on the song, pancake, which means the person could sing 1, 2, or 3 times and sing the same thing and stack it, and you get more dynamics and body on the vocals. Then the vocals become richer and more dynamic. But what he was saying on this, that would fit. But other songs, you know, if the vocal is to give it that dynamic spread, more body, stack 2 or 3 on top of each other, where you could sing it exactly the same. It's not the easiest thing to do, but boy, it makes those vocals rich.
Is that like a Phil Spector?
No, well, it widens it. It does widen it, but yeah.
He did that, but he gave it dynamics, and you want the dynamic range and spread.
Yeah.
You know, you want to, if somebody's listening to it, they want to hear the vocals. They want to hear the lyrics. I like the lyrics on that. And I would say this, you know, nice guitar and definitely an organ, but take it to the next level. Do that. It's worth
It's a
doing.
nice song, yeah, very nice
It's a
song.
nice song. It's a nice lyric. It's a nice song.
Also, you know, the lyrics lend themselves to being non-gender specific. So I think it would also be a very good idea to have a female vocalist.
Sure.
do it
Yeah.
as well.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Because
Absolutely.
that's very important, because when supervisors are looking for players, they go, oh wow, I love the song, but man, if only I had a female vocal. Here you go.
Or even a female background.
Yeah,
With the double
female
layering
backgrounds
at
and that.
certain points
That's
before
why-
before it goes into the next section would be nice.
Okay.
And
Take it
yeah.
to the next level and give it a fuller sound with whatever's needed that feels good and fits.
Yeah.
Well, no, I did all that on the third verse, everything you said.
Yeah, you know what? Started to hear that, but
Yeah.
a little late.
I know.
All
You
right.
know, it's late, you know.
What's next?
That's, you know, a lot of songs when you get there, but say, you know what, you want to get into the song, and by the time it ends, when it does what it's doing, you want to go back and listen to it
On that
again.
first verse on the guitar, make it sound a little weaker than when you're doing it on the second verse.
Yeah.
Like I said, and that way, again, it increases dynamics. It makes it feel like, oh, well, this is going to be the way it sounds the whole song.
Yeah.
And then you hit them with the fuller arrangement.
There you go.
Arpeggiate instead of strumming, for example.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Okay, what's next?
Next is Catherine
Hail
Beck.
with the
Catherine
hammer. Right
And
on.
if okay, I'll have to see what's going to happen with this video file here. I'll find
Oh, we
the
got to
mouse
crucify
again.
this co-writer on this one.
Still
yeah.
drink whiskey?
You didn't get the file that I sent, huh?
It's an MP4,
Yeah,
M4A.
yeah. Should be just audio.
M4A should work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. There it is. Yeah.
I may not be everything you need, So do me good, do me.
All right, first of all, did you play bass on that?
No.
No?
I didn't
Great,
produce
great
it.
bass part. I like the bass part. Came across really nice. Okay, everybody, what am I going to say? Suggestions? Good?
The vocal, I have a privy to the song. I heard it live the other night.
Okay.
And it was phenomenal emotionally, and I'm kind of took it about her vocal to me. Sounds tentative, and then it comes back in and bang, and then it's like it's coming
Didn't
in. out.
capture what
But-
you heard.
Yeah.
It definitely
Yeah.
could use some layering, some
Yeah,
some double
layering.
tracking,
Yeah.
and yeah, maybe a little bit of more emotion in it would be good too. I love the bass line. I'll tell you what I would do, that especially in the intro, but and between the intro and the next part, or between the verse and the chorus especially, that lead guitar. Put some heavy reverb on it, like the Mavericks,
Okay.
and just that will just bring that out, that tremolo reverb that they do. That would just pull everybody into that, and especially just between those two parts and the intro, I think would just bring that to a whole new level, in my opinion.
The intro is kind of clean cut and simple. I think on that song, the vocals are carrying the song. I think, or my thoughts would be, in the tracks, maybe some added instruments. In the chorus, maybe some, could be female background vocals, maybe
There's
an
a lot of
organ
that,
in there.
yeah.
Take it to the next level
Right.
to, you know, and then
'Cause what
you would notice the difference in what you heard there if you did those things there.
Is
million
Catherine on
miles.
here?
Yeah, Catherine's online.
Okay, so what we're talking about is once you get past the initial verse, then you're setting a bed of a foundation
Yeah.
with the organ or the instrument that's under it that just kind of lifts and adds and kind of just gives you a better foundation.
Yeah.
And, you start a song off kind of shallow, kind of one way, or in this case with the kind of the Mavericks, the
Yeah.
nice tremolo guitar, and then you have the nice mysterious bass and the vocal, but then you want to add
Yeah.
a little foundation, build it right there, especially around the chorus part. Yeah, it's a great little song though.
Suck
Yeah.
people in.
Yeah,
Suck people in.
nice job.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
very
didn't
good.
produce that, so.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. But one thing that did happen though was that the guitar was so out of tune. I told her, yeah, the lead that was in the instrumental part,
Yeah.
it was so bad. I said, no, we can't have that in there.
Yeah.
Tell your producer, cut that out. I'm going to redo it because it's.
Well, again, if you have the tracks for that,
Yeah.
all you got to do is add some nice
Yeah.
tremolo and
Yeah.
some reverb and just make it so wet that it really doesn't matter if it's out of tune. Yeah,
Oh, there you
it just
go.
adds. I mean, the way it was you add that in, it'll just give you a whole flavor there.
Well, he heard it live, so he knows what.
It-
guitar-
Okay.
Yeah, the
But
impact was.
it's
I was
funny.
like,
You're saying when you heard it live, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. it was
And you know
really-
what? Doing something live is different, a different world in the studio.
Yes.
And you know what? You really can't take the live and put it in the studio, but you can take the studio and put it live. But what was captured there, that caught you, but you're not hearing what caught your ears.
Yeah, getting emotion in a vocal
Yeah,
in a
okay.
studio is
Yeah.
very difficult.
Yeah. You need the direction of a good producer.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This is myself. It's called Love Sneaks Up on You.
Okay.
Paging through a magazine, being watched by eyes unseen. A smile grows across her face. It's time to change the pace. too hard, he'll run away. Won't come back another day. Quietly just breathe. Maybe then he'll see that love sneaks up on you. Love sneaks up on you. Love sneaks up on you. One look is all she needs. One smile and they'll both see. Into his eyes she must walk. Into her eyes he must walk. Now he's walking.
What was the solo instrument there on that little bridge? Or that little
Oh.
turnaround? Was that,
My producer, yeah.
you don't know what the instrument
Well,
was?
it's done by Natural Tracks, but I don't know the name of the actual guy who did it.
No, I'm just talking about that little instrument.
Violin in there.
Was it a violin? Might have been a violin.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
And there was an organ in there that came in late.
Now this was one you heard under the song. You had the pads, as a foundation, so that was all good. All right. So let me tell you what I would do on that in the verse. Everything is kind of here. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You could have a little flute. You could have a little
Yeah.
something going on
Okay.
over here.
Mhm.
While they're listening to the vocal, you have this little thing going on over here.
Okay.
I would do that.
Mm.
And the chorus, I didn't like that it just stopped momentum.
Mhm.
Momentum just stopped.
Okay.
The chorus is where you're selling the song,
Mhm.
and you just stopped. So there really needs be something driving. Now, if you wanted the last line where you're building up to, that's okay. But that chorus really needs to have something
Mhm.
that just pulls everybody
Yeah.
In reality, it's kind of more of an AABA song.
in. Okay.
That bridge part is really kind of the B part.
Okay.
And the rest of it is kind of like a long verse. I mean, it's just, I went over that a long time in my head, trying to figure out what to do with that. But
Well, even if you just had
Yeah.
just a boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, just something to keep
yeah.
the momentum going
Mhm.
until that last line of
Yeah.
there. Because you do carry it up there, you stop and the vocal
Mhm.
and you do kind of an up thing there. But it was the part leading up to that really was like, okay,
Mhm.
if I was dancing, I'd have to stop because there's
Okay.
nothing to dance to,
I see.
right?
Okay.
You want to be, and the bridge or the chorus or whatever you want to call it, this is the main part of your song that is selling the song. This is what you built up to. So this is where you need the drive, the most commercial aspects of it.
Did you sing the vocals?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You did a good job on there.
Oh, thank you.
You know what? Couple things. I think that song, if it was taken to the next level, would have the potential of being a really great song. Let me tell you what I felt it was reminiscent of, which is good, because I'm not one for what was in the past, what's in the future. It was 20 years ago. But I'll tell you what it was reminiscent of in parts. The feel of the Moody Blues.
Okay.
I don't know if you, and I'll tell you what it was in. The harmonies, but I was in the chorus there waiting for more changes.
Mhm.
And I heard the organ that came in late.
Okay.
Okay, but there was a nice feel to the tracks. Boy, I'd really elaborate more because you could take that and change. The potential in that would be really awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. In other words, in what you did a good job. I would take that and put it to where blow people away on the first listen.
And whether, you know, depending on the subject of the song, it could be a flute, a wood
Oh,
flute,
yeah, flute.
any
Mhm.
kind of a number of ethnic, it's
Mhm.
depending on, you know, what the song, but just something to,
A sea flute.
just something to get there,
Yeah.
to give them more to listen to.
Gotcha.
But a great little song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Let's see. Next.
Okay, you got holidays?
Yeah. Well, Rich is next.
Oh, Rich, okay.
Okay. So,
Rich here or here?
Yeah.
Me?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, this Rich.
This is.
Oh, this is going bad.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Mad dog pump crazy in love in 33. Highway abusers and robberies. Bonnie and Clyde. You know, Ford V8s were in their company cars. Trouble was, it took them way too far. Bonnie and Clyde. True love lasts a long time too, but those photogenic tags out the hopper serve the blues.
Okay, so you know me, what am I gonna say?
Yeah, you know, that I'm stumped, but, well, it
Stumped.
could be fleshed out more.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bass in that, by the way.
Well, you have bass notes.
That's me finger picking
Okay.
Yeah.
and playing the melody and finger picking at the same time.
I mean, I don't want to say lighten, but I would mellow it just a hair on the bass part,
Hmm.
just to bring it down in line with the other part. I like the time period that it represents,
Yeah.
and so I would do more to represent that time period.
Okay.
Meaning, what drums were being used in that time period. You know, to me, let's
Maybe the,
sure.
yeah, okay.
Or sort of like a circus song, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a
Yeah.
circus
Yeah, I was
song,
gonna
what are you
say.
going to have? You're going to have people in the background.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're going to have all kinds of stuff going on that draws your attention
That was
in,
my first thought, made you
and that's what you want,
Yeah.
right? Calliope, there you go. That'd be beautiful in there. I mean, it's a great idea,
Yeah.
but in order to present it to somebody that's going to say, "Wow, I can use that in my time period movie,"
Yeah.
Okay.
you got to have those elements in there that are going to just say, "Wow, I got to have that," instead of, "Oh, you need to go back and work on this."
Like
right?
maybe you were saying like in earlier, a flute over here, maybe some of those time period things.
Sure, absolutely.
Those percussion kind of things in the back.
Yeah.
Or something like that going on for.
Yeah, I mean, there's or and little string on the wash bucket type of
Yeah,
sound
right,
going on.
okay.
You know, things from the time period that just add to the flavor to make somebody say, "Wow, I hear this song and it takes me to this place,"
Yeah.
and that's what you want.
When it started out, I thought it reminded me of a circus song.
Yeah.
Okay, but then I said, you know, it could be definitely a bluegrass song. Okay. Then I said, well, you know, if the time period, maybe a jug, other instruments, violin, fiddle, mandolin, washboard to give it flavor. And I don't know, I caught in one part, was there a female doing some
Yeah, there's
background?
what happened with the vocal on that?
Doug
I
is
caught
an
it in one part.
extraordinary.
It sounded like a female was
Yeah,
doing some
that-
harmonies.
Doug Conlon is an extraordinary vocalist when you hear him live. He's been my
Okay.
music partner for like 5 years now, and his vocal range is insane.
Okay,
That's
maybe,
him.
well, okay.
That's him recording live, unless his wife got on there.
So he put the back,
It'd
so
be
he put that
Italian.
on there.
But I knew it was
He
fine. He just
basically produced it, but that's his vocal.
okay. That's great.
Okay.
But
And
more of that.
Any background ad libs was his.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did
the
it.
harmony, yeah.
Yeah, he did it just in the one part. The other thing is, made me think of another instrument, a funky piano, like a player piano.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that'd be
Honky-tonk
great.
piano, a little, yeah,
If
or,
you
yeah.
took those little things, whether it's washboard, jug, fiddle, mandolin, violin, that kind of piano,
And just bring it in and out. You
yeah,
don't need to
you
have it
know
all
what?
the time. Yeah.
Definitely fit the time period for something, because it would be, people would like that. It'd be lively.
Yeah.
It would have the feel. Yeah, I like that.
Can I mention something?
Sure.
Are you familiar with Tom Waits?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember the song that he did called The Neighborhood?
I don't know if it has that kind of feel.
Oh yeah.
Very strange song with
Yeah.
a tuba and the bass. And,
Oh, okay.
And,
Maybe
and,
maybe I've heard
and all these people in the neighborhood are walking around dressed up like they're in a circus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
When Chuck was talking, I was
Yeah.
thinking, and I thought about
Why
that
not?
song too. Yeah.
There is always a place for music somewhere. Always.
And there are plenty of period dramas going
Yeah.
around where they could use
Oh,
a song
yeah.
like that in a second if they heard it and said, oh, this puts me here, they'd use a song like that in a
Yeah,
second.
and they'd want to grab that up and put it in their catalog to use it whenever or wherever. That's what they do on TV, ABC, NBC. They build their library on different things where they can take segments and cut in or put something in there. You never know. There's a use, and hey, you can make a lot of money at that.
I love that kind of down home thing. Like Neil Young's got a song where the guy comes out in the middle of the song with an old broom. It's music.
Yeah.
You're hearing the broom as
Yes.
it's sweeping up, but it's part of the landscape.
Exactly.
Of the drum, or Eric Clapton with that little. You remember the egg beater, the old egg beater?
Yeah.
It made a little clicky sound when you.
Little organ grinder sound in your
Yeah,
song,
yeah.
even,
Oh, yeah.
anything like that. You never know. But just says something that will take the listener to where you want them to
Maybe
go.
we can work on
There were
that.
groups you don't hear anymore. A washboard, what a great instrument.
washboard.
Nobody
Yeah.
uses that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
my friend.
So
Yeah.
there'd be your
So-
drum right there.
It's taking what could work, putting it on the thing there, and trying it. And then using what works and fits and feels good, and don't use the rest, but keep it. Or try it different ways.
It sounds like that's a good way to augment.
Yeah, yeah.
And you might not use everything, but experiment with it and then keep what works and just
You know, if you had
store the
3 or
rest.
4 mixes, different mixes of the same song,
Yeah.
one of them, you're gonna find you're gonna like more than the others. And so, try it. It's worth doing.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Ed Lackey.
Okay.
And so this one is
Ed here,
called
where's-
The Blind Man Sees All.
Okay.
Blind man sees all.
Walks into the corner, his back against the wall. The blind man hears him coming in, long, short, and tall. No one ever sees him, no attention do they pay. The blind man hears everything that they have to say. The blind man sits in the corner, just biding his time, listening to the sound of
Did you produce this, or did somebody else produce this, or?
I did it all.
Okay. I do think it needs a remix.
Yeah.
Especially in the chorus, because everything's just kind of there. And really need some more separation there. Did you use a harmonizer in that, or did you use a vocal and then tune down a couple of a third or something on the vocal? Or how'd you do the vocal in the chorus?
I used a TC Helicon.
So okay. So yeah. So it was harmonizer basically. Yeah. So you could really tell that it wasn't a natural vocal. So it's a good song. The acoustic is a little too loud. And what mic were you using for the vocal?
AKG 435.
Maybe 435. Okay, but it's not like a 214 or two. Is that a good vocal mic? A condenser?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the vocal sounded like this. So really neat. It didn't capture a lot of the low end. It just sounded like this. And so a good remix would help on that. And again, like we were talking about double tracking before, if you did the vocal a couple of times, and even sing it down an octave once, and then when you get to the chorus, now you have a lot more natural vocals to work with, to blend together, to make that harmony. Would be my suggestion. But I definitely would have somebody remix it for me that can help with getting that vocal to sound more natural and blending it a little better. Would be my suggestion.
I dislike the very beginning of the intro. I don't know why. Maybe it just my feelings there, but I like the lyrics. In the chorus, it was muddy, needs to be cleaned up, remixed. It sounded, especially with the vocals, congested. And it even came across like the vocals were in a box and not sounding natural. And I like the little bridge there. I think it's just a matter of remixing it and cleaning it up and
I would also work on the lead guitar,
Yeah.
the solo, because it really didn't feel like it fit with the rest of the song. In the intro, it was a little clunky, and then in the chorus, it almost sounded like it was a whole different style to what the song was doing. So I would start with picking out the melody and just start with the melody on your solo and then expand a little bit from there with some fancy stuff with your guitar. But the lead needs some work on that, in my opinion.
Okay, we have four more.
Okay.
There's just so you'll know, Tom Lee, then Stephen Medeiros, Melanie, and then Margie and Art Corey if they're here. So let's bring out, next one is Tom Lee.
Okay.
I don't have anything. Let's see. Hold on. Tom, did you send something in?
I did.
Yeah, I
You
sent
did?
it late, so
Oh, okay. I'll have to
you
download
might have
it.
to go retrieve it from.
Yeah, okay. Let me do this. Let me do that in the background, and we'll bring up Stephen Medeiros.
Okay. Stephen online or here?
Yeah, he's online. Yeah.
Okay.
And then this one up.
Hey guys.
Was a dream come true. Little country home. Two boys faith was the foundation. Seemed like nothing could tear it down. But as they grew,
Everybody hear the counter melody going on in the vocal? That's what I'm talking about. Nice mandolin.
Mom and Dad had grown apart, turned their whole world upside down. Daddy won't be walking through the door today. You know it broke those young boys' hearts, but time will heal, the crack will seal. When you're young and scared, life seems unfair. There is just one thing you need to know. Hard luck for you will never change. Foundation strong for every season. My boys are proud.
First of all, lovely counter melody with the mandolin going on during the verse. That's exactly what we were talking about before. It just really takes it to the next level, really gives you something to listen to, pulls you right in, and it doesn't take away from the vocal. One thing you did, one thing Chuck and I argue about most on any production is how loud the vocal is.
Yeah.
When you mix, when you're a producer, you are taking everything you have and you're shoving it all down this little funnel to get this nice end product that sounds gorgeous. And to me, the vocal was a little loud, but a publisher might say it's where it needs to be. I would soften up the vocal a little bit, and I would definitely either double track, have a background vocal, have another person in the chorus, because you really need a second vocal in that chorus.
Yeah. Well, I agree with the first thing, the counter melody with mandolin. That was nice. I really liked that. I don't know. I would try one with maybe the tempo, upping it a little bit. What do you think?
It's a ballad.
Yeah, it's a ballad though. It definitely needs some backgrounds in there somewhere. And in the point you made about vocals, I would have to say on that song, on that demo, they need to come down a little.
Yeah. Or soften them in some way. Yeah.
If you were
saturation might help with
Maybe if you were
that.
selling the singer, you get a record deal, but you're selling the song.
Right.
And, so, but came down, it would be much better.
But definitely needs some
Yeah.
double vocal or something in the
yeah.
chorus just to bring it out, especially on the second line maybe, second and third line maybe, just to kind of, or second line especially, second and fourth line maybe, just to soften it and give it a little flavor. But very nice job.
A soft
Thank you.
arc with flavor.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doubling part of the vocals there in the chorus.
Good.
Just
Absolutely.
it feels like it needs a lift to
Yes,
me.
it
If you were going to add another backup vocalist, would you use a female vocalist or a male vocalist?
What are you talking about at that point in the song?
In the chorus?
Yes.
Yeah, so the chorus talks about, well, I'm drawing a blank now, but I'm completely drawing a blank. I'm sorry. I got another song on my mind, but
It really depends on if you're talking about. It just depends on what you're talking about, on whether you would use a male or a female. If you're if you're talking about a child, you'd use a child or a female, or
Yeah.
it just kind of depends on what your topic is at that point in the song. But definitely,
yeah.
another vocal of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, the song is actually written about it's a sequel to a song I wrote in 1999 for my two boys called 7 and 2, and now they're 26 and 31. This is kind of the sequel, but what do you think about bringing the drums up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt. They didn't bother me, and I didn't actually hear them either. So yeah, bringing them up, I think would be probably a good thing. But when you do, make sure are you producing this?
Co-producing it with the engineer, yes.
Okay, so when you're doing drums, in my opinion, a lot of people do different things. I always try to picture it as if I'm watching a band on stage, and where I would hear. I mean, the kick is going to go more towards the bass over on the left a little bit, and then your snare is going to be a little bit more on the right. Your cymbals are going to be kind of spread out a little bit, but just kind of give it a spread. Don't put them all in the middle, and make sure they're spread a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, we'll go back to Tom Lee then.
Okay.
And let's see. I found a song. It's called "One of the Americans." And
that's one that I played last week, but that's okay. Go ahead and play that.
Play it.
Oh, that's the only one I had. I'm sorry. I didn't see anything else. Sorry. Oops, I'm sorry.
Looking very pretty, making all the scenes, riding every city, drive suburban dreams. A silver ghost of Hollywood, a self magazine. The human magic is the MIA. I wanna be American. Wanna be American. I wanna be American. And I'm living solid up once apart to each his own. Lonely heart beneath the stone. I can only wait. Even though your life's a mess, you cash your dreams for loneliness. Catch the last train for success. The hour is getting late. I wanna be American. Wanna be American. I wanna be American. And I'm
Is that a slap bass you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I would put a little more bottom on that slap bass. I mean, I know that's the style to get that, and that's fine. I'd kind of like hear a little more bottom on that, which is not that deep, just EQ. I think the vocal needs to come up a little bit. I would do something more active on the bass, because the bass kind of carries, especially with the slapping stuff going on. I would have him doing some really nice, fancy slapping stuff through there. I think that would really improve the song. And then when you get past the first verse, I think you need to bring some other stuff in, something under it again, to add to that funky little groove you got going on. Maybe an organ, maybe Rhodes or something. Just something a little funky in there. And maybe some female vocal backgrounds at some point would be nice.
There was a line in there, I think it's a Ghost of Hollywood.
Yeah.
I've heard that line before. Maybe I heard your song.
That's the song that I played you.
Oh, that's what, boy, what a great memory.
Now I remember that.
Yeah, now I remember that because I heard that before, but that was a long time ago.
And it's a fluke that was played tonight. Because that's not the one I sent tonight.
Oh, okay.
So you were meant to
All
hear
right,
it
but
again.
that was 25 years ago.
You know what? I think it was more than that.
Yeah, more. I'd say more. You know, Darryl had a good point. It needs added instruments, probably of the funky nature. I'd have to listen to it more to see what would fit and would be right there. Because what you have there is very basic tracks. I don't know, what did you think of the drums? You know,
Basic?
Basic.
Basic,
Okay,
yeah.
that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would. I'd need to listen to it
Again,
more.
it needs to get. It needs to build.
Yeah.
It needs to build into something. I mean, once you get past the first verse, then they should be kind of, going crazy, going a little wild there.
It needs to go somewhere.
Gee, I had it in the third verse.
Yeah, right.
there.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
Bring it a
late.
little sooner.
People do that. I guess some of them
that,
use the
and that
word.
bass. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much room for a bass to just be doing
Yeah.
all kinds of nice stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah. In other words, you could build on that, and it could be. But the third verse, people, I guess they're saying, well, that's the song. I'm building it.
Yeah.
Well, but then you're building it, and people are waiting.
And having the bass bring in the next section, do
Yeah.
into the next section.
Yeah.
Beautiful type
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, it'd be something like that.
Yeah, also slap bass, you get a lot of intermittent
30
in
years
between
ago.
popping too. That's part of that style that's really important. Are you familiar with Silk Sonic?
I'm sorry?
Silk Sonic, it's a new supergroup.
I don't remember.
No, it's a new supergroup.
Oh.
Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. But yeah, listen to Silk Sonic's latest thing.
Okay.
Silk Sonic.
I will.
And you'll be able to get that whole thing. They're kind of like nouveau retro. It's kind of a weird thing. But it sounds like some of that vintage R&B funk stuff, but brought more up to date.
Thanks.
Hope that helped.
Cool.
Okay, next is
Thank you.
Melanie Lasowitz with Silver
Yeah,
Bells.
Jimmy's right.
I thought they were a set of guitar strings.
Oh.
Hey, my style. Slim Whitman.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you'll hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ringling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of streetlights, even stoplights, sprinkled bright red and green. As the shoppers rush.
Okay. Obviously, we all know the song.
Yeah.
I like the style, very Slim Whitman style. It comes off to me a little, I'm going to say the word glassy. It's a little harsh on the top end. The vocal's too harsh. It needs to be softened. I like that you did bring in the second vocal. Could even use a third or a fourth there. Even just you need to. You have to. It's just harsh. The bass, for example, it's very mechanical. Use a compressor with a little slower release so it holds that note. A little more low end on that bass. On the vocal, maybe some saturation, double track maybe. Slight bit more reverb, not much, but it's just it's too loud. The vocal. The arrangement itself is pretty good, but it still needs to tame down the harshness of it. It's supposed to be Christmas and warmth So some saturation here and there probably. Run it through maybe Waves has a plug-in called Reels, which is putting it through a 2-inch tape machine type of a thing that might help on the toning it down a little bit.
I just recently, it was an old track, and I just recently got it mastered, and it did come back a lot louder. But are any of those things doable during mastering? Things that you're talking about?
Yeah, you can add saturation or just the waves. They actually have some free ones. I'm trying to remember what they call, but it's you're putting it through a tape, a reel-to-reel tape, to give it an analog sound. So you're trying to get it sound. When I say it sounds harsh and glassy, what I'm saying is it sounds digital. It needs to sound analog. In analog, they would run it through tape, and they would run it a little hot, and it gave it a nice warm round sound. So my suggestion would be run it through some plugins that, and they do have free ones that saturation, and then some running it through a tape machine, reel to reel.
It was actually on tape originally, so we had it, transferred to digital. So maybe it lost some of that warmth in the process.
And sometimes when they master, depending on who's mastering it, see, a lot of people will just on the mastering they'll bring up the bass and they'll bring up the vocal, and so you'll have this kind of a scoop, and that's not a great way to master a song. But a lot of plugins do that just by default. So I would go back to your mix and I would kind of check your mix against your master and see if you can tell what I'm talking about as far as it sounding glassy, harsh, brittle is what I'm getting it. Now, it may be the speakers here, but I'm getting just too much vocal, too much bass, and not enough of the nice stuff in the middle.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay.
Chuck.
Pardon? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was going to say the intro brings back memories for Darryl.
Yeah, California Country Music Association. Yeah.
Okay, it's a cover song. I think as a Christmas song, it needs to have the feel of more in the spirit of Christmas, the cheerfulness and the warmth. I think Darryl's correct. I agree. Vocals were harsh, and I did like the harmonies there, but it needs more.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you'd call underlaid more to bring up more. My question to you is, I know it's a cover song. Why did, just out of curiosity, why did you pick a cover song, Christmas song, that version? Why did you pick that? What were your plans with it? Just for fun?
Yeah, this was a project that we did as a gift for friends and family.
Oh, okay.
And it was recorded in a old analog studio. It was quite a while ago, but I recently took out those tapes and got them digitized so that I could share them.
Oh, okay.
And a bunch of them are humorous. This one was we just went for a country feel. It was almost like parodies.
Yeah, the pedal steel is very nice. I mean, good job on it.
Actually, sounds like a lap steel, not a pedal. More of a lap
Is that
steel.
lap steel?
Because the pedal, you'd be changing the chords as you go.
Yeah.
Yes, It was a synthesizer on that pedal steel.
Yeah, it was a fake. I was going to ask her. It sounds like it's all fake instruments, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Warm.
Yeah, it just needs a light touch on whoever's doing the mastering. You really need to have somebody that is going to have a light touch with it and bring out the warmth.
Yeah, bring out the warmth and put some more background harmonies in.
Yeah, bring up the background harmony would be great.
Real instruments would have made a big difference.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's all keyboard sense.
Yeah. You want to be in the spirit, feel like Christmas.
Some real sleigh bells in there would be nice,
Well, even the
bells that were in there. Yeah, you can do sleigh bells on a keyboard.
Yeah, well, that, but also again, when you're featuring a slide guitar, it's really important because you can't duplicate slide guitar on a keyboard.
Right.
I heard that right away. I said, that is so fake. It's like,
Yeah.
The bells in there didn't cut it.
The bells didn't cut it.
Didn't cut it.
Okay.
Thanks, got it.
Last call, is Mike Telega here at all?
Mike Telega? I don't see him.
Telega, okay. Or Margie and Art Corey?
A couple people bailed.
Pardon?
Said a couple people bailed.
Yeah, right. So,
I don't
okay.
know who 13102 is.
Yeah. Well, there was a couple of people who just wanted to sit in
Yeah.
and listen. So I'm assuming that was one of the people who just wanted to listen.
All right.
So with that, we are at the end of the list.
Oh, we're done.
We're done.
So I hope that we made some sense in our critiques, and we're not saying anything was not great, fixable. You know, everything. Anybody that puts herself out there and writes a song, a great song, and brings it out to the world, it should be congratulated. And you guys did a great job.
It's opinions that are, you know, given there in the interest of telling it like it is. You know, what do you have with it? Are we going to hear Jimmy's going to do a song for us now?
No, I didn't bring one today. So
Well, Double Shot of Whiskey was a co-write, so.
It was a co-write.
I'm at mail@majorlabel.com is an email, or website is majorlabelmusic.com, excuse me. Mail@majorlabelmusic.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook. Chuck is
Okay. And if there's any questions, and these people on the Zoom, if they have any questions, you can ask Darryl or myself. You can get a hold of us at Chuck_BigFish43 at att.net. We do accept outside submissions to review and evaluate. There's no cost. We have a number of people that do that, and then Darryl, of course, he's the wizard producer. He can, you know, I'm giving him a thing there, but you can submit music. We do have a policy, but if you contact us, we can give you that, all the details on that, and you can submit your material. It takes maybe 5 days allow. We do have more than one person that reviews it. We take all the input and consolidate it, and then we put it on a written review, and we'll send it to you, telling you what our feelings are, interest, use, what's wrong or whatever. A lot of input we give.
Okay, just to double check the email addresses for everybody's benefit. It's mail@majorlabelmusic.com.
Yes, MAIL, not MALE.
Right, MAIL, yes.
MALE,
At
great.
majorlabelmusic.com. And then
Mail at
MAIL
at majorlabel, sorry.
music.com.
Okay, and then Chuck_BigFish43 at att.net.
You can. We have a second email if they want that too.
Okay.
Or that one's fine.
Okay.
That one's fine.
Again, that's Chuck_BigFish43 at att.net.
Correct.
Okay.
Feel free to reach out to us by social media. And again, you know, I would suggest everybody take a look at some of these organizations or local songwriter things. Get as involved as you can. Get to know anybody you can. And the biggest thing, the best way to get to a professional at one of these festivals or things, if you really want them to like you, go buy their book. Tell them something nice about their book, you know, just so they'll remember your face.
Have them sign it.
You know,
there you go.
And then come back and say, I enjoyed your book.
Yeah.
And
enjoyed
thank you,
your
whatever.
seminar.
And they'll, the more you do that, they'll know who you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys so much, man.
Thank you
We
very
appreciate it. Give me a hand, guys.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Oh, you got the mug.
All right.
Official SongNet mug.